Good everyone, my name is Olabamiji Oluwaseyi. You are welcome to another episode of Daily Insight Podcast. I believe you have been blessed by our previous podcast. If you have been blessed, kindly share with friends, colleagues, um, siblings, family, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel and also the Telegram channel. The audio file is always available for download on the Telegram channel, and also like and share on the TikTok. The TikTok account is Oluwaseyi Olabamiji O. You see there, and all the content, the podcast, everything is there for you. So we are considering another topic this morning, and it's going to be one of the important topics that will shape us, that will expand us, that will elevate us. And the topic we are addressing this morning is the power of intentionality. The power of intentionality. Intentionality is very powerful, and it is one of the rare commodity in our world. It's one of the rare commodity in the world of men, because we live in a fast changing world. We live in a distracting world. And because it's a distracting world, a lot of people are distracted. People are taking action without thinking twice. People are allowing their emotion to overrule them. People are allowing their emotion to govern them. So they are making costly mistakes based on decision makes on their emotion. And I have said it again and again that when your action is influenced by your emotion, your propensity for error is very high. But when your action is driven by knowledge, is driven by wisdom, your propensity for accuracy is very high. So we have two set of people. We have people that are taking action based on emotion, and those people, they can't give you any logical, any rational reason why they were making such decision, and they always find themselves in the circle of failure again and again. Then we have another certain kind of people that subject their actions to reasoning, to wisdom. Before they take any action, they reason it out, they discuss it, they ponder about it, they meditate before they begin to draw lines that they want to take their decisions on. And this is the kind of person I want you to be. You cannot have extraordinary results in this life if you don't understand the power of intentionality. Many are taking decisions just by emotion, just by the fantasy in the world, they just take decisions, costly, sensitive destiny decisions based on the narrative of the society or from the media projection. People are not sitting down to be thoughtful about the decision that have the capacity to shape their life and how they can position themselves by wisdom to take incremental decisions. So, and that is why we are considering this topic this morning. That decision is very powerful. One of the signs of maturity and growth is intentional action, because intentional decisions and judgments, one of the signs that you are mature and that you are growing is intentional action. How intentional your action is, and how intentional your decisions and judgment is. If your judgment and actions and decision are intentional, that means you are growing. Is one of the signs of growth. You must be able to explain logically why you are taking the actions you are taking. You must be able to explain logically why you are choosing the choice you are making. I get what I'm saying now. So you must have a logical reason to the actions you are taking if you are going to have a predictable and an extraordinary result in this life. And if you check children act without reasoning, but adults reason before they act. The Bible said about, Paul said, he was speaking to Corinthian church, and he said, when I was a child, I think, I speak, and I reason like a child. But he said, when I become a man, I left all this childish attitude. I left them behind. Now my action is now subject to reasoning. So I must understand also that intentionality is one of the fruit of intelligence. Intentionality is one of the fruit of intelligence. One of the proof that you are intelligent is that your life is driven by intentional actions. And this is because you know when to talk and when to keep silent. You know when to embrace and when to restrain. You know when to walk and when to rest. You know when to display publicly and what to keep private. Many of us don't know what to put for public consumption, and we don't know what to keep private. Everything about your life is on social media. I'm not saying you should not know your work should be on social media, but there are sensitive things about your life that should be secret, that should be on private, archives. But many people don't have the discipline and the wisdom to do that. They just put everything about them. They put it online. It is everything about their life is for public consumption. That is one of the proof that you are not an intentional person, and that is one of the signs that you are immature in the game of life. You are immature and you are not growing. If everything about your life, there is nothing, there are no certain things about your life that is kept secret, that is kept private, that everything is on social media, everything is for public consumption. People can, bump into your life. People can narrate, can, talk about you from A to Z without any iota of secrecy. There is no secrecy that keep your sovereignty in force. You are going to live a life of mess by that attitude. And that is why we are taking this podcast this morning. So you must know one of the signs that you are an intentional person is you know what to make public and what to make private. You know when to mingle and when to stay alone and build. You must understand that too. That you know when to mingle with people, when to share with people, when to laugh, when to play with people, and when to stay indoor and build. Many of us, we stay too much indoor that we don't have a social life with people. So by the time what we are building now to require collective effort, you hardly find people you can trust. And that is the problem. And many of us we still have another extreme that we now mingle with a lot of people, but you are not building anything. This extreme must be addressed, and that is the wisdom of taking this podcast. The power of intentionality gives you insight into the importance of time. You now begin to know and understand the power of time when you become intentional. Adults know by experience that every actions attract consequences. So they learn to prioritize reasoning before actions, like I said earlier. And you must understand also that life is governed by the law of intentionality. This life is governed by the law of intentionality. If you are not intentional about life, a lot of things is going to go wrong in your life. A lot of things. The weakest of all men are those who live based on feelings and not a sense of duty. Intentionality is the platform of growth and maturity. And until you become intentional, you can't build anything worthy of commendation in this life. You must be intentional about the choice of friends. You must be intentional about your association. You must be intentional about your prayer life. You must be intentional about your study life, and so on. These are the areas where you have to be intentional. Intentional living instills responsibility consciousness. When you become intentional, automatically you become responsible. When you become intentional, automatically it instills the consciousness of responsibility in your mind. You now become responsible because you know that you will hold yourself accountable for the choices that you are making. And when people see that you are an intentional person, they begin to hold you in high esteem because it is one of the rare commodity in our world. Even you yourself, if people are not intentional, if you find an unintentional person, you can't hold them in high esteem and you can't commit sensitive things to their care because you know that because they lack that virtues of intentionality, they are not going to handle that thing very well. So people hardly commit sensitive things into the hand of insensitive people. People hardly commit sensitive things into the hand of unintentional people. When you are not intentional, you can't frontier anything and you cannot produce anything worthy of commendations. I get what I'm saying now. Intentional living eradicates looseness and unguardedness. Have you seen loose people before? They talk beyond certain level. They, even when they want to play, they joke until that joke now becomes unreasonable. That's because you are not intentional. Everything about you as an adult must be driven by a level of intentionality. When you talk with intentionality. When you joke with intentionality. You don't say something and you find that, wow, I shouldn't have said that. No. That is why every action, every word that comes out of your mouth must be subject to what? To reasoning. You become firm mentally. When you become intentional, you become firm mentally. You become more productive. You become more reliable. One of the blessings of being intentional is you become reliable. Do you know what it means to be reliable? When people can trust you without thinking twice. When people can entrust certain things into your hand and they don't have to come and supervise it by themselves. Many of us can't work without supervision. We are so loose, we are so unguided. We can't work without supervision. We can't work until somebody is checking what you are doing. And that is one of the signs that you are still immature in the game of life. And you can't, as long as you wear this personality trait, you can't get any serious thing done. You cannot even mentor people along that side. And your success is going to be a balloon success, up to date, down tomorrow, up to date, because your actions are not subject to reasoning. Your actions, your dispositions, your executions is not subject to wisdom. It's not subject to the wisdom of intentional living. Intentional living is wisdom. Intentional living is wisdom. When you begin to live intentionally, is a flavor of wisdom. When you are living unintentionally, is a flavor of foolishness. And you are not you are not at the best. You are not at the best level to command great exploits, because nobody is going to commit any sensitive thing to the hand of a person that is not intelligent, that is loose, that is unguarded, that everything about him is lascivious. You are just there. You mismanage resources, you mismanage people, you mismanage moments, you mismanage opportunity, you mismanage time. That is the fruit of unintentional, of being unintentional. When you see mismanagement of time, mismanagement of resources, mismanagement of opportunity, mismanagement of people, that is the fruit of unintentionality. You are not intentional. And it is time to be intentional about life. You can't live like this. Life is too delicate. You can't live life lasciviously. You can't live life without wisdom. You can't live life without this law of intentionality. People who are championing great move on earth, they are intentional people. How intentional are you about the choice of friend? How intentional are you about who can be your friend? What are the standards you have placed around you? What is the standard that you have placed around yourself? What is the standard? Who can be your friend? Who can work with you? Some people, we are not visionary, so we are attracting all kind of people. As a lady, you are not visionary. You don't know what you want to do with your life, so you are just anybody can be your friend. Anybody, a promiscuous person can be your friend. A glutton can be your friend. Anybody loose, naked, anybody that dressed naked can be your friend. Anybody with his own mindset can be your friend. That is a life of dustbin, that anybody can just come and drop anything. No, your life must be safeguarded by the law of intentionality, that you are intentional about. It's not that you hate people. It's just that there are standards that people have to meet for them to be your friend. And this must not go to the extreme, because you must have the capacity to accommodate people's levels of growth. But even at that level, you must have standard. That is why there are some schools that their standard will shock you. It's not that they cannot resonate with your level of finance, but the standard of the school said this is the requirement, this is the standard, and we cannot lower this standard because of you. That is why you must have standard too, and don't lower it because of sentiment. Let the person grow. See, you don't have to bring people too close to you to help them. You can help them from afar. When you see their readiness to learn, when you see their readiness to listen, when you see their readiness to be transformed, to be changed, now you can begin to recommend materials, and by the time they make that standard, you can bring them into your cadres. You can bring them into your realm. Not that you just bring people up right from all the corners of the earth to the corner of the enemy society, and this one is my friend, my best friend, my bestie, because the person is going to influence you with his own mindset. People influence each other. That's why the Bible said iron sharpens iron. It means that people influence each other. And if you allow somebody who is not wise to influence you, he's going to influence you into foolishness. That's why the Bible said, he that wants to be wise, let him work with people that are wise, because what you are working, you become one with what you are working with. You become one with your association. You become one with your choice of friend. Anybody you are working, you are going to become one with that person. And there is a part of you that we collect the data. There's a part of it that be attracted to the person you are working with. And before you know it, you're already thinking the same, because it's going to be advising you on some matters. It's going to be talking to you about some things, and you are going to be considering it. So if the person is wise, that means your chances and your propensity of being wise is very high. And if this person is, dull and foolish, your propensity for making erroneous decisions is still very high. I get what I'm saying now? So thank you so much for joining this podcast this morning. I hope you have been blessed. It is time to be intentional about life. Be intentional about your results. Be intentional about everything you do right from this moment. Thank you so much for joining this podcast. I believe you have been blessed. God bless you.